Join discord.gg/flat earth and enter a VC check-in room, and someone will come along to VC verify you to get involved with the conversation about our Earth.
Roohif Part 12.
It's more fun to just eat a bunch of candy and play video games like that.
Yo, no pro, if you have a mic, speak up.
You said you had a measurement of flat. What measurement would that be?
That would be the water surface around my area.
Right, but you're saying it looks flat, or you measured it?
No, I measured it flat.
Okay, what's the measurement? What did you do?
I did measurements on the surface of water looking for curve.
Okay.
So I compared the surface of water compared to the globe model.
Okay.
And I checked on the measurements of the waterworks that are in my area. You know, I live in the Netherlands, so we have a lot of waterworks like dikes and dams and levees. And they are all laid out flat. There is no... Everything is leveled. Everything is flat. There is not one that follows the curve of the Earth as given in the globe model.
Your measurement of flat was checking to see whether the globe model made the correct prediction.
Curvature drop.
That is the basic premise of flat Earth. You check if the globe model is correct.
Okay. I would say you're an anti-glober then, rather than a flat earther.
No, I'm a flat earther because I measured the surface of the waters around me, and 72% of the Earth as known is surface or water surface. Therefore, if the water surface is flat and the properties of water are, you know, generally equal across the world, not changing drastically, the world has to be flat for 72%, because 72% is water surface.
Do you want to present your observation?
I don't have to.
Yeah, no, I don't have to. I'm asking, do you want to?
No, I actually don't have any presentation of my observations.
Okay, that's cool.
I'm
not going to push you to do it. Just asking if you want to.
No, I have a few observations, but you know, I don't have them like to share because most of the shit I do on the fly. Because back in school, way back in the 80s, I got taught something very important, namely that the surface of water, when at rest, is flat and level. We measured that at school. I know schools these days don't do practical shit. Back in my day, we measured it.
How old are you?
I am 45.
Okay.
Back in my day, we used to measure things.
I'm turning 45 as well in September.
Oh, fair dinkum. That's me as well, you're turned 45 in September.
So, you know, the globe people have to explain why they deny the science of fluid dynamics or hydrodynamics, because they apply flat surfaces for bodies of water at rest.
Sea level.
Like who says that, you know, the surface of water is flat?
That's a science. That is science. I don't know if you understand what hydrodynamics and fluid dynamics entails, but
I do. Yeah.
They state that water at rest with a large surface area presents a flat and level surface area.
I'll add to that. In containment, it finds its level.
I would say hydrodynamics would say that fluids react to the forces upon them and will reach equilibrium.
Yes, and now you have to now you have to demonstrate that one is not in contradiction to the one we apply. Because I agree upon the fact that water, the surface of water reacts to the forces enacted upon it. Yes. But we're talking about water at rest, meaning there is an equilibrium between the forces.
Yep.
So to have a globe curve, you know, you can call me an anti-glober in that respect. You have to present that air pressure or, you know, gravity. But first you have to present gravity as a factual thing. Second, you have to show that air pressure is allowing the curve of the Earth for the water surface.
Air pressure? What is the water?
Water is a fluid. Air is a mixture of gas and fluids and solid particles, even plasmas. So you're taking assumptions for a globe that when water is at rest, it has to curve. Otherwise, yes, it is an assumption because you never measured it.
I've measured drop personally.
No, you never did.
Well,
there's no
I've
consistent.
never spoken to you, so I don't know how you know what I
Where
have and
do
have
you
not done.
see it on Earth that water curves, bro?
There is no curving water that conforms to the globe model.
That's your assertion, right? And if you don't seem keen to have
that's factual because of the amount of long distance observations done.
Do you want to present a long distance observation?
Sure, go look at an ocean, dude. Take a trip out to the ocean, and there you go.
Okay.
You can scroll down. The fact is, for water to curve, you have to demonstrate gravity, you have to demonstrate the allowance of air pressure to facilitate the other side of the force. Because for, you know, you as a glober, you have gravity that would shape spherical things in space. And because we're in that spherical thing, if you pretend to be on a globe, then the air is still pushing on the surface of the water. So gravity and the air pressure have to make that curve. Now, please demonstrate.
Okay. So gravity, first of all, mass attracting mass is an empirical fact that happens. If you have a thing.
What is mass? What is mass?
The amount of stuff in an object.
No.
Stuff.
Mass, in classical terms, is the atom. Atoms, which attract atoms, do that through electron interactions. So you're claiming that gravity is electron-based, which makes it electromagnetic, and that doesn't mean that it creates a sphere.
Okay, I'll start again. Mass attracting mass is an empirical fact that's been demonstrated.
Talking about water here.
No, again.
Secondly, objects in a vacuum chamber fall down. I don't care what you want to call that acceleration. It doesn't matter what it's from.
You ignore the fact that mass equals atom, equals electron, equals electrostatics, electromagnetism. Anything electron-based. So if you drop something in a vacuum chamber, the amount of atoms, the electromagnetic force of the Earth, the amount of atoms that you drop something above will pull that thing. But that's electric. That's based on electrons. That's mass. That has nothing to do with gravity. No, that's nothing to do with gravity. You make gravity something different because you need it to form spheres.
I don't care what you attribute.
You need it to form spheres. Therefore,
don't
you
care.
need to
When
prove
you're ready, let
the
me know.
sphere.
Let me know when you finished. Let me know when you finished.
You need to prove the sphere to claim gravity. You cannot prove that sphere. You have no sphere. There is no measurement of sphere. There is no measurement of radius. There is no measurement of curve on water surfaces.
Have you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished. But
Okay, cool. I don't. Have you finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I don't care what you attribute that downward acceleration to. The fact is that it exists.
No, the fact is that you ignore the mechanism, and the mechanism that you attributed it to, gravity, is only there to explain why things form in a sphere in space.
So
I'm not making that claim here.
No, you did. You call it
No, I
gravity.
didn't.
You call it
called
gravity.
And then I said to you quite clearly, I don't care what you attribute it to. We all agree there was a downward acceleration. Do we not?
Yeah, but that doesn't. You called it gravity. Gravity is only there to explain why spheres form in space. It has nothing to do with falling. Nothing. Because A, you cannot produce a vacuum on Earth that is sufficient to be called a vacuum. So you're always dropping something in a medium. So you always have
product to keep water down. Is that why this is going on? Because we were talking about water. So is this what we're relating to, water being held down? Is that what I'm getting out of this?
For the fourth time, I don't make a claim that gravity is why the Earth is a sphere.
that's your issue.
Halfway through a sentence. Literally halfway through.
That is your issue, because gravity only exists to explain the sphere, not explain falling things. That is not what gravity was made for. You don't understand your own fucking history. Gravity was there to explain spheres in space, not things falling down, because everything we experience on Earth falling down is a lack of buoyancy. Because we are not capable of creating a perfect vacuum. We are not capable of making a space a medium free space. So
we were talking about water.
Yeah, we were. Right. I do not make the claim, and have never made the claim, that the Earth is a sphere because of gravity. So don't put that argument onto me. Thank you.
No, you use gravity, and gravity is the explanation why Earth is a sphere. There is no other explanation for gravity.
I do not make that argument. Do not put that argument
he did
on
not mention
me.
gravity.
He did mention gravity.
I did, and I said all I use it for is there is an acceleration down, and I was very clear 5 times. I don't care what anyone else attributes that acceleration to, electrostatics, whatever. I don't care. We have an acceleration down. The end.
No, you have an acceleration based on the mechanism.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You cannot have an isolated mechanism.
I will say that that's not contributing to the water stain place. I would say that it's water contained is its own force against itself. So
yeah, but if you
have water,
if you remove the air pressure from the water, water would stop being at rest. It would evaporate and turn into a gas or
a container.
Yeah, it's contained by the air. It's being pressed down, basically. He calls it a downward acceleration.
What it's contained in is its force, its pressure, its gradient.
Yeah, and the moment he said gravity, he immediately implies, because gravity is only used for spherical objects in space. That's the reason what gravity. Is. So when he says gravity, he automatically involves the ball.
I didn't hear him say gravity, though.
Yeah, he said in the beginning.
Okay. Anyhow. A lot of salt water out there.
Very conductive salt water.
Yeah. Hey, that's interesting too. You can do that yourself too. You get a glass of water and you put some salt in it, right? You can get a battery, LED battery, and you ground one out and whatnot. But anyhow, then you go to put it won't light with regular water. You put salt in it, and boom, it'll light up. Automatic battery. Interesting.
Yeah, and if you drink salt water, you bring back electrolytes into your body, which helps you stay hydrated and healthy.
Mm-hmm. Where did that gentleman go?
He's still in the room.
Oh, well, I was curious where he was going with all this.
Oh, I can't remember the first fucking thing we talked about. What was it?
It was about
water conforming to the shape. Yes,
water.
Yeah. So water will conform to the shape, whatever that shape is.
Yes, well, not necessarily shape; it's container, but yeah.
Sure.
Well, or containment, I should say, containment.
Yay.
Didn't they do measurements with water drops? And where was that in history? Here.
Hey, one big pond is here. Now I can respond to you.
Cecile drop technique.
What?
By measurements of drops of water. And of course, it starts with a level ground.
Anyway, can I address one big pond?
Huh?
Yes, I accept that gravity is what they say it is. It's not an argument that I make. Can you understand the difference between those?
Say that again?
The point is... Go ahead.
Yeah, I accept that gravity is what they say it is, right? But I don't make the argument.
Hey.
I don't argue it.
Who's they?
Oh, the scientific consensus on gravity.
U.S. government? Federal
Scientists.
government? The federal government.
Mass attracting mass hasn't been accepted
I'm
since
just curious
1914.
I'm curious what they mean.
Yes,
so
yes,
they
it
talk
has.
about the federal government, right?
Not talking about your federal government. I'm talking the world scientific consensus. Not all scientists are government employed either.
So if you're going to talk about real scientists, they don't. So you got to decipher which one we're talking about here, because there's pseudoscience and then there's natural real science. So you got to figure that one out when you're talking about, when you say they, you're not really giving us clear message here.
Yeah, the scientific consensus.
The only scientists that count are the ones that are paid for, aren't they?
The only scientific consensus that there is the fall speed of air. When you drop something in air, it gets an acceleration. That's the consensus. There's no consensus on a mechanism or a root cause. Let alone...
I'm pretty sure there's consensus on relativity, or a reasonable consensus at least.
Yes, we all agree within our fucking story. This is the fucking reason why. Everybody say together with three cheers. Hip hip hooray for gravity. Roohif, which gravity are you talking about, mate?
Yeah, relativity. Did you miss the first part of that? You may not have been here.
Yeah, I've been here for 5 minutes. Which part of gravity? Which gravity are you talking about?
Relativity, yeah.
No, you were talking mass attracting mass.
Yeah, mass does attract mass. That's an empirical fact.
An empirical fact. Is gas mass?
Yes.
Awesome. Can you show me gas attracting gas?
Probably not. That's not how I would demonstrate mass attracting
not empirical, then, is it? I've got some mass and it's not attracting shit. That's not empirical.
Well,
I'll tell you what. I'll drop one down for you. Can you show me a big rock that isn't gas? Can you show me a big rock attracting gas, as in directly straight to it, not moving around freely and randomly in all directions? Can you show me gas being attracted to a rock because it is big?
I would point to the atmosphere, but I would demonstrate it by demonstrating mass attracting mass. I wouldn't use gas to demonstrate that.
No, because gravity is just one vector downwards and gas is moving freely and randomly in all directions. Right. I asked you to show me, first of all, gas attracting gas. Now, that's stupid. We know, finish, sunshine. We know gas attracting gas is stupid, don't we? Because gas disperses freely and randomly in all directions. Then I asked you to show me a big thing, a rock, don't give a fuck what it is, a big thing of matter, attracting gas to it. Not watching the gas move freely and randomly in all directions. I've got a big thing, and look, here comes the gas because it's attracted to it. As in, make it turn direction. You can't do that, Roohif. You're just going to point to the atmosphere and reify your fucking story because of consensus.
Non-sequitur fallacy.
Anyway, I would say using gas to demonstrate... didn't you just get up me for interrupting you?
Right. Keep using non-sequitur fallacies, though. It doesn't...
I'm 4 words in, I'm 4 words in.
Yeah, I was just fucking mocking. Yeah. I'll let you get to 10. I just want you to know I was fucking mocking you.
Okay. I wouldn't use gas to demonstrate mass attracting mass.
No, of course you wouldn't. It'd be stupid, wouldn't it?
Right. But do you know why? Why do you think it's stupid to do that?
Because gas doesn't attract gas, does it?
No, because gas particles...
So the next step is, can you show
you did it. You got it.
Being attracted by anything, which you can't.
You got it. Gas moves all directions, 500 meters a second. That would be really hard to demonstrate, to control for that, wouldn't it? Really hard. That's why I wouldn't use it. Well done.
Yeah, exactly. So observably, when we're trying to figure out a fucking phenomena to assert that gravity's doing anything, then, well, it's not the phenomena of gas, is it? Because gas is moving freely and randomly in all directions. It's not attracted to the Earth as in a vector downwards, right? So, so whenever you say gravity is the thing that is keeping the gas from dispersing into the vacuum of space, I'm just going to keep pointing that out.
Nor does gas
you're
clump
asking for
together.
a shit demonstration. Right.
Gas does not clump together. So gas, as a molecule or an atom, is mass. So mass attracting mass doesn't work, because then gas would clump together and form a fluid and then a solid. It doesn't do that. It does the opposite. It does the opposite of what you are claiming. Mass attracting mass.
Actually, what he's claiming is what I was trying to say in the beginning, is that he said that he believes in what they say gravity is, and I was getting to the point of who they were and where his premises was coming from, because there's pseudoscience and then there's natural reality science.
Yeah, but
saying he believes in the pseudoscience.
I am not talking to they. I'm talking to him.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to him too.
Yeah,
I don't argue relativity or space-time curvature. I believe it, but I don't argue it.
That doesn't make any sense, dude.
yeah, but if you don't argue it, how can you use it?
I don't.
You
I don't
did.
use it.
You
I
did.
don't use it. I
Sorry,
don't
guys.
use space-time curvature. I've
Just-
been very clear. We
Just
all
destroy
accept that there is a downward acceleration, correct? We all accept there's a downward acceleration. That's all that I use.
No, I don't accept that because sneakily within that
Okay.
statement, hold on, we're sneakily within that statement. You didn't say all things. All things don't accelerate downwards to the floor at whatever the rate is. Can't remember, it's too early in the morning. Because gas moves freely and randomly in all directions. When you drop things in a vacuum chamber, there you go, you can calculate the rate of those things of matter. But you let gas disperse freely and randomly in all directions, so it's not a fucking vacuum container anymore. It's a chamber full of gas. So no, I don't concede that all things drop at this rate, you idiot.
All things accelerate downwards. They don't drop
But
at
they
a
don't.
rate.
So
But they
gas
do.
is accelerating downwards. It's accelerating in all directions, upwards as well, right?
No,
It's
it's
the rate that you
moving.
said earlier.
Moving in all directions, not accelerating in all directions. Moving
hold
in
on.
all directions.
But wait, hold on. It has elastic collision, so when it collides with something, it fucking accelerates off in a random direction. You fool.
But a single gas particle is moving.
Yeah, Jedi. Yeah.
And the single gas particle is still mass.
Yes, and it's moving in a direction, but it is accelerating downwards.
How can it move in an opposite direction and accelerating at the same
Fucking hell,
time?
man.
This is
What's
basic
something
physics,
really
maniac.
cool?
This is
Hold on,
literally my 14-year-old can understand this.
Listen, elastic collision. So it hits the floor and accelerates off the floor. It gets faster. Elastic collisions. You understand how gas works, don't you? Yeah.
Yes.
So it hits the floor and accelerates away from the Earth. It's the first thing it fucking does when it's produced within the biological and chemical fucking cycles upon the Earth. Is its first instinct is to move away from the thing that you're saying is attracting it to it. You fool.
All right, let's address Maniac. Maniac said, how is it accelerating downwards when it's moving upwards? Do you understand very basic physics? Did you do physics at school?
Is the Earth coming up to meet it, like Einstein suggests? Elevator.
You're just doing straight Newtonian mechanics.
Oh, you're not doing straight Newtonian shit. You don't do anything. You just utter words. Because if gravity is enacted upon the floor, it's moving down at the same rate as the gas particle is attracted to the floor. So those two cancel each other out. You don't have that acceleration anymore when it's going up.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So you said a minute ago, how is something moving up but accelerating down? Was that the question?
That is your premise.
Yeah. Do you accept that?
No,
things
of
can
course
move
not.
Up? Okay. All right. So, I have a question for you.
That's idiotic.
Okay. Let's talk through it. Let's talk through it. Okay. I've crouched down and I've jumped up. Okay. I've crouched and jumped. Right? As soon as I leave the ground, which direction is my velocity in? Which direction is my movement in?
Irrelevant. It means nothing.
It's up.
This is up.
It's away from the ground. So
Yes,
you're moving
that's my movement.
away from the ground.
Okay, which way is my acceleration? Which direction am I accelerating in?
Still
I've
up.
left.
Still
No.
upwards.
I've left the ground.
You're still going away from the surface.
That's my movement.
You
That's my
only
movement.
accelerate downwards once you reach the epitome of your jump, and you go downwards.
No.
Yes.
No, this is basic
Yes.
stuff.
No, because the medium around you is moving in the same direction
No, let's
that
say
you
we're vacuum.
claim.
I've jumped
So
in a vacuum.
it cancels each other. I told you, you cannot jump in a vacuum because you cannot produce a vacuum. You're still in a medium. It's a very thin medium, but it's still a medium. You don't want to talk the mechanics. You don't want to talk shit. You just want to talk bullshit rhetoric. Nothing more. Because
So I've
you
jumped.
ignore the fact that you jump in a medium that has the same downward acceleration that you claim. So your downward acceleration next to that medium acceleration, downward, cancels each other out. So you now have the fall speed of air, nothing more. Because if you were to jump in water, you have a different fall speed, a different acceleration, because it's the medium of water you try to jump in.
I've jumped in the air. I've left the ground. Let's say my velocity is 2 meters per second upwards. When I reach the top, like what you called it, the apogee a minute ago, that's 0 meters per second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So which direction is the acceleration? If I'm going from 2 to 0, which direction is the acceleration?
There is no acceleration. That's the point, because the medium is in the same acceleration as you, so you cancel each other out. The acceleration comes only after you are being forced down again by air pressure, or your weight, or your lack of buoyancy.
Jumping goes up for
This is
gravity.
really basic physics, dude. Really basic physics.
There's nothing to. It does nothing. Proves nothing. I don't know where you're even going
Just
with.
simple idea of moving up. Like the velocity is up, the acceleration is down.
Great.
Okay, you kicked your legs and you moved up. Now what? How does this prove
now
gravity?
Right, we're just trying to establish some basic physics.
we established
No,
it.
the basic physics is that what you claim only applies for spheres in the universe.
Water
Because
jump?
everything else has to do with buoyancy. You can cancel gravity out in buoyancy. There is no gravity needed in buoyancy.
Gravity's required for buoyancy. Buoyancy requires the downward acceleration.
No.
How do you think you calculate it?
Gravity doesn't have memory.
Buoyancy requires that's.
Yeah, to calculate the buoyant
concept.
force, you require gravity.
Do things
The medium
fall straight
and
downwards on your Earth?
Oops, hang on.
Literally idiocracy when you're talking about this, dude.
This is really fundamental, simple physics. Really.
Fundamental or not, it makes no premise on what you're talking about.
it is mental.
talking about-
It is mental physics. It has no relation in reality because you need a globe to have the downward acceleration. You don't have a globe to claim the downward acceleration because the downward acceleration is dependent on the medium it's happening in.
It's his belief. He said that in the beginning. That's his belief.
It's not my belief that you can have something moving like velocity up and acceleration down. That's not a belief. That's just fundamentally simple stuff.
That you believe in gravity as they do.
Right?
You
In the
said.
relativity, right? In space-time
go.
curvature.
There you
Yes,
go.
I believe
That's your
that.
practice of faith right there.
Okay.
There you go.
Like I said, I don't argue it, but I do believe it.
You're arguing it right now.
I'm not arguing space-time curvature. I'm just explaining
Arguing
that.
is
No, I'm
simple
not.
conversation.
No,
Yes,
I'm not.
dude.
I'm not arguing space-time curvature.
What are you
I'm saying
doing
that we
then?
do have an
What are
acceleration
you
down.
doing then? What are you doing?
I'm first of all trying to explain some really basic physics to Maniac.
You've explained it.
Yeah,
What?
and he doesn't get it. If I
Yes.
jump up in my
Because
velocity,
there is no logic in it.
Water jump. Water jump.
You claim yourself that you have to believe it. That means there is no logic to follow.
you
have no
you are doing the
evidence
same.
because you're
conflating.
believing something. I don't go from belief.
You're conflating my
Your
belief
dynamic
in
is
space-time
based upon a
curvature
belief.
with my certainty in the basic fundamentals of physics. Right. Acceleration is a change in velocity.
What are we talking about?
What?
It's fundamental physics are we talking about?
The fact that velocity can be up, but acceleration down. Maniac doesn't understand that.
Oh, okay. So. Okay.
And the acceleration down
Yes.
is not gravity. That's what I said.
Yeah,
You
I don't
have
care.
you have
This
air
is over
pressure
distance,
pushing
by
on
the
you.
way.
You have
Acceleration is over distance. But okay, great.
you have a lack of buoyancy in the medium of air. That's why you go down. It has nothing to do with gravity.
It's his belief.
You're saying the air pushes us down?
He's saying nothing. He's going along with your kooky freaking belief.
Which kooky belief? That we can have a velocity up and an acceleration down?
That you believe that they believe in gravity as they have told you.
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go, man.
Yeah.
Don't.
I believe their explanation, yes.
Hey, dude, come on, man. Really? Like, really? Wait, are you serious?
I'm
Really?
seriously that I do believe it, yes.
Why?
Because I believe they've validated it.
Why?
Huh? But what have you done to validate it?
Like, why do you?
I haven't. I don't argue it, right? I don't argue it.
This
is not an argument of mine.
Right now.
No, I'm not. I'm just stating the fact that I believe it. That's all I'm doing.
We come back to this. I came back. This is the third time I've came back this with you, and you don't have an answer besides blah 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 blah. That's it. You don't have
ask
any
me the question again.
You don't have any logic in anything that you're saying, dude? You're just
it's. I do not make an argument about space-time curvature. Right? I do not make an argument. At the same time as that, I do believe it.
About jumping up and going down. So yes, you did. You just made an argument. What are you talking about? Are you like here, dude? Are you like delusional or what?
I'm trying to address many people and trying to correct some really basic physics.
You're delusional, man. You're really delusional. Seriously.
All right. Anyway, ether. My point is that the entirety of the jump height solar level.
Just dude.
So, ether, do you agree that velocity can be up and acceleration down? Yeah.
Acceleration only happens at the moment that it sets in.
Yeah, so, I've left the ground, right? So I'm not applying any more force with my legs.
No. The issue is, the moment you start going down, then the acceleration starts. Because the object changes direction.
It's not about a change in direction. Acceleration is a change in velocity. Okay, so if you're going up at 2 meters per second, and your velocity is getting lower, yes, that's an acceleration. Yes.
It doesn't mean that acceleration is caused by a downward force.
That's the direction. If I'm at 2 meters per second here, and then up here I'm at 0, yes, it does mean that's a downward acceleration. That's exactly what it means.
Beneath you?
Unbelievable.
It's beneath you.
What?
Better?
No, just down. The acceleration is downwards.
It's beneath you.
Okay.
Okay. That's logical.
It's just the acceleration is downwards. If you've gone from 2 meters per second traveling up, and then you get to a point where you're 0 meters per second, the acceleration is downwards.
Based on circumstance. There's so many circumstances to that. It's not. I mean,
if you
all over the place with this, dude, you have no premise to your conversation. Nothing. No point.
We're just establishing some basic physics about air molecules. Even though they are moving up, they are still accelerating downwards because they have mass.
That is an assumption that you make.
No, it's not an assumption. Mass attracts mass.
No,
air molecules have mass.
No, because if mass attracts mass, the gas molecules would be attracted to each other.
There would be nothing. No creation. There'd be no way to separate things, dude. Come on, man. Really? It's just the stupidest thing ever. When people
you don't follow. You don't follow the rules set by thermodynamics.
How so?
Because if they are attracted, if mass attracting mass, it would mean that the gas molecules would come together, the gas atoms would come together because they are attracted to each other, because mass attracts mass. That means if you apply downward force, they would all come down on surface level, they would be squishing each other, forming a liquid, because there is a downward acceleration that is non-stop, and it would accumulate up until the point that it is thermodynamically changed from gas to a fluid to a solid. The fact is, the opposite happens in nature.
The fact you think the force between these particles moving at 500 meters per second would squash them into a liquid is astounding.
Oh, man.
You don't get it.
That's mass. So you're talking about mass, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And matter? Talking about mass and matter now, right? Correct?
Mass and acceleration and forces, yep.
So you just made a statement, an argument, which you say you don't do, which you just did. Just made an argument, dude.
I don't make an argument about space-time curvature.
No. You said
I've
when
said
they
it
all
5
smash
times
together.
now.
You said when they all smash together and they make the thing. You just said that, correct?
Maniac said that he expects, if
dude.
gravity is true, he expects it to squash into a liquid. That's ridiculous.
Yes, you did. You did just say that. So that's an argument. So therefore, you're talking about mass and matter now. What they say, right? To what they.
Am I just going to sit here and be misquoted? And
the conclusion is that you would have compression because of the downward.
Yeah. You know what that is? That's called the density gradient in our atmosphere. That's the result.
Yeah, but it would not stop. That's the issue. It stops.
You're saying it should, like you said, it compresses into a liquid? Is that what you'd expect?
Because it is continuous. Because you apply the downward force when you're going up. So that means it's continuous.
Yeah.
So how do you separate mass and matter? No, do you know how to separate mass and matter?
I don't. So no.
Okay, well, cool. Well, then, dude, what are we talking about then?
I don't know. What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, dude.
Is ether going to set Maniac straight on velocity up, acceleration down?
You have to provide acceleration down.
I dropped something in a vacuum chamber.
Still, it's not a vacuum. So
it's pretty close,
the acceleration down does not mean it comes from below you. That means
it's just down.
Your premise of space-time or gravity is not reached.
I'm not trying to make an argument for space-time for the 6th fucking time.
No, but
it is mass and matter and quantity. Everything you're talking about is a premises of that. Oh,
I don't know how many times I have to say this.
The mechanics are there for
not
that.
make an argument.
Oh, you're not making any sense here, okay? Mass and
do
matter
not make an argument.
Are the quantity of gravitational force, as they say, correct? So when you're jumping, you are mass and matter, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go. What? We're making an argument.
I'm not making an argument about space-time curvature for the 7th time, okay? I am making the claim that objects in a vacuum accelerate downwards, and we can all agree on that. Can we agree on that?
No, because you never had a vacuum to begin with.
Okay. Objects in a 10 to the minus 6 tall, whatever.
Does it matter what they're in?
Accelerate downwards.
Okay, look, mass and matter, quantity of force doesn't matter when they're in. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Wow. Anyway,
regardless of the location, it doesn't matter. So your argument is just there. It's done. It's dead. There you go.
Yep.
Your answer.
Yep. And with that, it's time to feed the dogs. It's been lovely.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.